I'd like to welcome you to this August 21st meeting of the Mohave County Board of Supervisors.
Liz Harris is at the core of what these people are fighting about, whether they're willing to admit that or not.
The first signed up is Jeannie Kinch.
Not only was it voted in favor by the MCRCC Executive Committee to censor the PCs in question, but the Executive Committee also agreed to file a workplace injunction so that said PCs were banned from the headquarters in Bullhead City, preventing the toxic environment. It was agreed by the Executive Committee that their inappropriate behavior was dividing the party and harming our function of garnering Republican voters. I am not asking to vacate any elected PCs. I strongly feel if the people voted, or in our case, signed the petition to put the candidates on the ballot, then the people would have to recall that precinct committeeman. I am only asking to vacate 2 precinct committee members that I mistakenly appointed just months ago. The toxic environment coming from District 2 headquarters forced me to temporarily close the office. A half a minute, please, sir.
Good morning, Chairman and Board of Supervisors. I'm Pamela Ford from Lake Havasu, and I am the treasurer of the Mohave County Republican Central Committee on the Executive Committee. I totally agree with PC member Barbara Carpenter, and most of my write-up was basically what she was going to say, so I will add something different.
We're the majority.
I continue to wonder when our own precinct committeemen decided it was better to attack, smear, and denigrate others in our party.
I have the rights to badmouth other elected officials if I so choose to do that, because that's the American way.
We need to let these disruptors know that we cannot allow this behavior to continue.
I have the rights to badmouth other elected officials if I so choose to do that, because that's the American way.
I hope you agree with Ginny Kinch and pass this.
As far as First Amendment rights, I didn't give up my First Amendment rights when I became a PC 28 years ago.
You know, if you can't respect someone's right to dissent or hold their elected officials accountable, you know, where's the line for free speech? I don't.
Good morning, Chairman, Supervisors, Pamela Smith, Bullhead City. I don't have anything written up. I am here on item number 8. The reason I am here is I'm a newly appointed PC. I hesitated over the last couple of years to sign up as a PC because the environment at the Bullhead office was not friendly and not inviting to people that actually wanted to work for the cause. So I am here in support of item number 8, in support of the county chairperson. Unfortunately, if she can't do her job as written in the bylaws, myself will resign. And
Steve D'Amico.
Steve D'Amico, Bullhead City. Thank you, Chair and Board. I'm here for item number 8 also. I have witnessed this turmoil in our local GOP in Bullhead City personally during my election, and we need to all get along. It's a shame that it came to legal action. Regardless if you like each other or not, this is for the better of our country.
We're the majority.
Some of the stuff that I seen during my election, I was running against Ashley Garrett, and they put her sign on the GOP Christmas float during the election. Did not offer mine. They put hers in the window, did not offer mine. They were endorsing her, did not offer mine. And I even feel uncomfortable even going in their office as their elected mayor.
We're the majority.
And I hope this sends a message that we all need to get along, and hopefully this doesn't have to come up again.
I am here for the amazing PC committeemen of District 2 as their elected District 2 Director of MCRCC. I am not the disruption of GOP. I am the reality of an everyday American trying to make a positive, productive change, supporting the Republican Party and defeating the oppression of our current national administration. And I won against the mayor's wife, Mrs. Barbara Houston. It is my effectiveness and not my ineffectiveness proving to the nation the Republican Party is destroying itself from within its own organization.
If they disagree with any decision, they verbally attack with emails and with text messages. I hope you agree with the vacancy request made by Jeannie Kench and the Executive Board
We're the majority.
of the Mohave County Republican Committee. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jem Morgan. The reasons that she cites are unbecoming conduct, moral turpitude, bad behavior. This request does not rise to the level of requirements cited in the state statute. It is incumbent upon you to deny this request for that reason. If she wants to resubmit with the evidence that meets the law, that's fine. But on this request, you need to deny. Thank you.
I mean, in part, these ladies' alleged conduct includes acts of moral turpitude, which I find alarming. I mean, Merriam-Webster said moral turpitude is an act or behavior that gravely violates the sentiment or accepted standard of the community, a quality of dishonesty or other immorality that is determined by a court to be present in the commission of a criminal offense. I mean, wow, criminals at work in our precincts? Of course they must go, but wait. How can they be prosecuted and removed without due process? Where's the defense?
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Lionel Grant. I am the pastor of First Southern Baptist Church, Mohave Valley, 1421 East Commercial Street, Mohave Valley. My reason for being here and asking to speak before this great board is because of a situation that I endured.
I'm going to throw it back. If this is, and it should have been addressed within the party at any time, there could be a vote of no confidence. But you didn't.
And the reason is because if these two women, Misty Davini and Christina Dumal, is being supported by Pat and Mary Lou Shaner, and also Carrie Aso, then the divisiveness and the destruction that has gone on after I left will continue.
I'm going to throw it back. If this is, and it should have been addressed within the party at any time, there could be a vote of no confidence. But you didn't.
I say that with a heavy heart because at one point I was the office manager.
We're the majority.
And then I stepped up and volunteered to be the interim or the assistant, or whatever you want to call it, director for District 2. I was appointed by the board.
We're the majority.
And served in that position for 2.5 weeks. Now, during that time, we signed up 20 new PCs.
I'm asking you to poll number 7 also, and 8. How can you appoint somebody when we don't have a PC down there anyway? The damn door's been locked for 3 weeks.
And tried to reach out to the other side. I call the other side the disruptors.
Jeannie Kench has stated that the organization needs unity. How can unity be achieved when Mrs. Kench files baseless workplace injunctions against PCs?
Those people can help us, but why are they fighting with us? None of them came to the picnic. None of them. I made 3 patriotic baskets.
Unreal. Boy, do I miss Royanne Ortiz. Unreal. This is worse than the Golden Valley water situation.
We have some powerful people in our district, and I'm praying that she will support our endeavor and also support Jeannie Kench. Thank you very much.
I watched a woman who was never seen in the inside of a courtroom do her best against a seasoned attorney, Mr. Lasota, who had 23 years of political litigation. I observed the Justice of Peace, Dave Huerta, overrule almost every one of her objections. It was a true misuse of our judicial system against a PC who has contributed so much at our local Bullhead City GOP office.
First Amendment is crucial in a building, on the street, in the Republican Party. Without it, we have nothing. We've already seen that in our media, and I'm sincerely hoping that this august body will understand that it's okay for us to disagree with people at county, Republicans or state or whatever, and voice our legitimate concerns all the time, everywhere.
Today, I'd like to address a complaint filed against me by Jeannie Kinch. She refers to ARS 38.291. Section 7 of that says, a person holding the office ceasing to discharge the duties of the office for a period of 3 consecutive months.
You're declaring it vacant. It's not vacant because I saw both those ladies at the last quarterly meeting. So they have not abandoned their position.
Let me add here that there's been one PC which has already been described today. And he came in, he objected to Scott Pressler's lifestyle. This is a federally protected class of people. You don't do things like this. Information was sent to Ms. Kinch. Nothing was done. This is serious.
Jim Fuller. I'm going to speak on Agenda 8, and I'm from District 2 in Bullhead City.
So this is Mr. Fuller in my office, in our office, with Rose Jacobs. We had many members there, and this is what he caused Rose Jacobs to do. And he was verbally assaulting her about Scott Pressler as a guest speaker at our GOP America First Center. Okay, so I want this on the record that he is the problem, one of the main problems that we have.
Second, Mrs. Kinch states that the MCRCC Executive Committee feels that the duly elected District 2 Director, Misty Davini, and me have unbecoming conduct and moral turpitude to be harmful. I had to reread that several times, and then I chuckled. What must the Executive Committee think of their chairwoman living with her boyfriend who shoots at minors? And according to a September 16th, 2019 Havasu News article, Ms. Kinch accused a fellow Republican, Sheriff Schuster, of retaliation after her boyfriend was charged with 3 felonies.
And I know I'm speaking to a lot of people who are angry at me right now on the other side and don't want me to speak this. They don't want Misty to speak. They don't want these other people to speak. But that is our God-given right. That is our right guaranteed under the Constitution of the United States to be able to speak, to not be censored, to be able to be heard. We've got our media taken away. We have no local ownership in newspapers. We have a big tech internet that is acknowledged to have censored. And when you see this going on the other side, I don't know how you can tolerate doing it within your own party. There's a reason I'm not a member of the party, and it's exactly this reason. If this got resolved, I'd be happy to become a member of the Republican Party. But in a one-party town, there has to be discussion allowed. There has to be freedom of speech. You can't say that someone can't speak. And I think that is what is at the core of this. And there have been cover-ups attempted in this issue. I'm not trying to address the state issue now, but Liz Harris is at the core of what these people are fighting about, whether they're willing to admit that or not. And I think everything else is just cannon fodder. And it's really important that if you want freedom, you have to defend dissent.
Hello, board. I am Barbara Houston. I am the mayor's wife. I support agenda item number 8, the creation of 2 PC vacancies. The workplace injunction was upheld by Justice of the Peace David Huerta.
There's a reason why we have our Constitution. It's our founding document. It's supposed to guide the way we handle things politically. And there's a reason why The First Amendment is the First Amendment.
I was on with Royanne and Bill Hurd. And then we had some directors that made it very uncomfortable for me to go into the office.
Interestingly, Ms. Barbara Houston, Bullhead City Mayor D'Amico's wife, has only attended one meeting, and she did not even help with the American First Dinner, yet she wanted to run for the District 2 director. Has Ms. Kench filed a complaint against her?
I just avoided the office, that's true.
When we had our election, we had over 2/3 of the people casting their vote, whether by proxy or they were there, that wanted Misty. So it seems to me like we're the majority. So thank you very much. I hope that you come to the right decision and use the law and not hyperbole to make your decision. Thank you.
My name is Barbara Pape. And let me tell you, these people are intimidating on our older members. I don't see anything but chaos, and for 2.5 years since the Shaner's been in. For 2.5 years, we've had nothing but chaos and division.
I'm a conservative Republican, and I highly value my right to free speech, as we all should.
Jeannie Kench needs to step down immediately.
Jamie Morgan, my Democrat counterpart, I think she expressed this quite well and was very succinct.
I am definitely against this item on Agenda 8 because I don't think she has any legal grounds to do it. Others have come up and pointed that out and listed the statute affected.
Speaking of unbecoming conduct, I'd like to finish this. I only got 11 seconds. The secretary and the chairman, I saw in the video after I went home and looked at it, were laughing their butts off while I was trying to defend myself.
I'm going to throw it back. If this is, and it should have been addressed within the party at any time, there could be a vote of no confidence. But you didn't. I'm ashamed and embarrassed, and everybody here as a Republican should feel the same way.
Item number 8, Supervisor Bishop.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've heard from both sides of this controversial agenda item here this morning. I would like the county attorney to weigh on as to whether or not this board has the legal statutory authority to approve the request from the Republican Central Committee as proposed.
So what we're looking at is really 3 different statutes. We're looking at 16.821, 16.822, and then 38.291. And what you have is the chairman of the political party recommends to the Board of Supervisors. The Board of Supervisors then can fill a vacancy. And what has been alleged here is the provisions that the persons holding the office have ceased the discharge of their duties for a period of 3 consecutive months. And the other one is conviction of the person holding the office of a felony or an offense involving a violation of the person's official duties.
They have not been convicted, so it would be a violation of their civil rights if you voted to remove them from office. And
you have to determine if the person has ceased to discharge their duties for 3 consecutive months, or determine if a conviction has occurred.
So in this case, we've heard testimony that this appointment just recently occurred. So Jeannie Kench, can you confirm that this has been 3 consecutive months since they were appointed?
Yes, it's been over 3 months.
You're declaring it vacant. It's not vacant because I saw both those ladies at the last quarterly meeting. So they have not abandoned their position.
We haven't received any registration to vote documents from District 2 as a whole. We received them from each district.
You're declaring it vacant. It's not vacant because I saw both those ladies at the last quarterly meeting. So they have not abandoned their position.
And our county registered to vote director puts them all in a report for me, and I have not received any. So that goes in line with not getting registers to vote.
You're declaring it vacant. It's not vacant because I saw both those ladies at the last quarterly meeting. So they have not abandoned their position.
But it also indicates that they were to violate our goals. I really would like to finish my speech, if you might, because I only had a minute. The toxic environment coming from District 2 headquarters forced me to temporarily close the office.
We've got enough censorship now. If you want freedom, you have to be willing to defend dissent.
Until I was certain the bad behavior was eliminated. The messaging came out of that office scared volunteers away, unfairly criticized our esteemed elected officials, including some of you.
You know, I was abhorrent of some of the behavior. But, you know, that's their right. If they want to, they better be able to defend it. If they want to debate my position, I'm more than happy to debate my position, as I do here all the time. But we don't have the ability to remove them for bad behavior. The legislature does not give us that authority. And that's really what it boils down to me, is do we have the authority to remove them for that behavior or not? And I don't see that we do.
Ms. Kenches has personal vendettas against people who speak out against her tyrannical behavior, and it's obvious she's using retaliatory tactics and allowing others to attack our district manager because we're fighting against her corruption of this party.
Bad behavior must have consequences. As the chairman of the Mohave County Republican Party, I am mandated to do all I can to protect our party. As the party leader, it is easy to see that vacating a couple PCs with bad behavior is what's best for the success of our party in District 2.
I support Ms. Jeannie Kinch.
Dear board members, the bad behavior I have witnessed and been notified is happening for months. Additionally, I spoke to the Arizona GOP Chairman Jeff DeWitt this weekend at a chairman meeting, and he agrees with my argument. He believes chairs should be able to lead as necessary, and the chairman agreed.
Ms. Kinch, if we vote to approve these vacancies, what's going to prevent you from coming back board meeting after board meeting requesting more removals until everybody gets along?
I don't know if there's anything that's going to prevent it. Their behavior, the bad behavior, if it stops. I have no intentions of doing this. I had no intentions of doing this. You were told that I ignored them. I never did. You were told that I was a horrible person. I've done everything I can for us to work together. And what they brought in was a toxic environment to not allow that to happen. So I'm trying, as the leader, to do the only thing I can see to protect our party and allow District 2 to go united. There isn't anything, you're right. There isn't anything, you're right. But I tell you, the rest of the counties, they're all waiting for this to happen so they can also do the same thing if they need to. Because bad behavior should always have consequences.
But Mr. Attorney, bad behavior, is that considered part of a precinct committeeman's official duties?
The only basis for removal is in statute. You have to, if you want to legally remove any position, you have to determine whether a vacancy occurs in accordance with the statutes, in accordance with the law. Bad behavior is not one of them.
Because bad behavior should always have consequences.
It's not bad behavior.
Okay, Jeannie, Ms. Kinch, can you tell me what the violations would be?
An offense involving violation of the person's official duties is one of those reasons.
I'm here to speak basically on the United States Constitution, its First Amendment, freedom of speech.
And our censor to them, the Mohave County Republican Central Committee, Executive Committee censored them due to their bad behavior and how they are providing a division in our party and harming our party. We also have a restraining order that was approved by Judge Huerta for them not to come to the headquarters because of the division of our party. So that might not be the definition of bad behavior, but to us, that is definitely a definition of offensive, offenses involving the violation of the person's official duties.
So I'm looking for what those offenses of official duties are.
The
What
division
exactly
of our party.
did they
so
do
that
to be
multiple
censored?
emails, multiple social media posts, multiple ways to try to put division into our party. That is what they did.
And which I would like to point out, my biggest concern here is U.S. Constitution was built on disagreement. Compromise, working together, we're allowed to disagree. Just because this body here voted 3-2 not to have paper ballots doesn't mean you turn on each other and make the other person not an American or unwanted because they had a different point of view.
No, there's not a law that says that you can't divide the party. And, but I believe that the law that says that an offense involving a violation of the person's official duties, and the official duties are everything that I've mentioned as well as violating our bylaws.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I mean, it's kind of like what I experienced earlier when a constituent said things about me that were outright lies. It's very frustrating, but I don't think it's against the law. You know, if somebody wants to stand up at the podium and lie, I don't think there's anything against the law unless you're under oath, and you're certainly not at the podium. So
I heard a lot about First Amendment. The MCRCC is a private, nonprofit organization, not a government. The First Amendment is to limit power of the government, okay? So I don't even see that as part. Any organization you belong to, a nonprofit that has bylaws, you abide by the bylaws. I don't think, and I don't know how this has come up, I don't think people understand what their job is as a PC.
You know, and as far as First Amendment rights, I didn't give up my First Amendment rights when I became a PC 28 years ago.
Because it's not what has been happening lately. You can go and do things on your own. I say that people form a PAC, a political action committee, go after the people, the elected people you want to. But that's not the role of a PC within the party.
You know, and as far as First Amendment rights, I didn't give up my First Amendment rights when I became a PC 28 years ago.
It's to register and promote and get Republicans elected, or Democrats if it's in the Democrat Party.
As far as First Amendment rights, I didn't give up my First Amendment rights when I became a PC 28 years ago.
When we as a board vote on PC appointments, as we do most every meeting, we approve it because the assumption is the applicants have been vetted by the political party chairs. I do not go through the names and research myself on whether or not they should be PCs. Again, it's just the formal process for us. Now we're being asked to approve another process item that the chairwoman has put in front of us. And I'm going to assume that the chairwoman has done her research and that this is a legal action.
As far as First Amendment rights, I didn't give up my First Amendment rights when I became a PC 28 years ago.
I do not believe it is my job as a county supervisor to get involved with the inner workings of a political party. You do not want that. If people have a problem with the chairwoman's actions, there is recourse within the political party, and that's where this belongs. We are being asked to vote on this today because that is how it works as defined by the state statute.
I don't think that it's the job of this Board of Supervisors to arbitrate squabbles within the political parties. I don't think that's our job. It's not. If you have a problem with leadership or whatever, use your bylaws or whatever systems you have within those political parties and solve it internally.
And if you're going to remove people today, you'd better have good reasons. This board could possibly be sued for removing somebody from office without having a good reason.
Supervisor Gould.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We just do not have the authority to remove PCs for bad behavior. That's what it boils down to. It says you're declaring it vacant. It's not vacant because I saw both those ladies at the last quarterly meeting. So they have not abandoned their position. As far as anything getting done, that new director can't get much done because they can't get in the office to do it. But I don't see it in statute as something that we have the authority to do. If you'd abandon your position, if you lost your right to vote, if you moved out of your precinct, if you changed parties, those are all things we can act on, but bad behavior we can't act on. You know, and as far as First Amendment rights, I didn't give up my First Amendment rights when I became a PC 28 years ago. I still have those rights. I have the rights to badmouth other elected officials if I so choose to do that, because that's the American way. The bylaws don't address that. And I was party chairman, I gave the people the freedom to do that. You cannot endorse a candidate as a precinct committeeman. You can't say, I am a precinct committeeman and I am endorsing this person in the primary. That's a violation. But people support the candidate that they choose to support. But what it really boils down to, whether I was a brunt of some of the behavior. But that's their right. If they want to, they better be able to defend it. If they want to debate my position, I'm more than happy to debate my position, as I do here all the time. But we don't have the ability to remove them for bad behavior. The legislature does not give us that authority. And that's really what it boils down to me, is do we have the authority to remove them for that behavior or not? And I don't see that we do. Thank you.
Thank you. What's the pleasure of the board?
Chairman Lingenfelter,
Supervisor Bishop.
I will make the motion that we not approve this for legal reasons.
Thank you. You've heard that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
You've heard that motion, second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes appear to have it. Do have it so ordered.